Now, my next guest knows all about artistic dissent and the power of art. Jennifer Egan is a Pulitzer Prize-winning novelist. She's won many awards, books you've probably heard of or seen people reading on the subway or in the park. One of my favorites, A Visit from the Goon Squad. The Candy House was top of the bestseller list. Manhattan Beach was beloved. And over in the artistic political universe, she led PEN America in the first Trump term in 2018. They even filed cases against Trump trying to defend free speech. Longtime reader, first-time caller, whatever the expression is, thanks for joining.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We'll get to all of the art. Let's start with the government. Is this the most anti-First Amendment administration you've seen in your lifetime?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think we all feel a sense that things are not good and could get worse. It feels like a lot of different components that are threatening are hanging in the air. You know, National Guard troops coming into cities. It starts to feel like, well, wait a minute, if you say the wrong thing, there's actually muscle to potentially stop you. So those various elements all in one picture are scary for sure. Do
artists self-censor?
I think that they do. I think that has happened due to pressure from the left as well, being candid. I think that, but I do think no artist I know, or even a gatekeeper of the arts, has ever argued for policing the imagination. I think we sort of all know that we have to imagine freely to do good work. So I think, you know, book bans, for example, of which there are just tons right now, are definitely bad. But as long as artists are still imagining freely, I feel like that damage is temporary, except that it's denying kids who are reading less books that might interest them. So that's a problem on the other end.
Well, you drew a kind of a nonpartisan subtlety. The government pressure is very heavy. It's different than social pressure, but there have been sort of leftist efforts to say entire books or material should be pulled because what was written then or now is now deemed overly offensive. You're against that as well.
Well, I think that I mean, as I've taught English literature, and one of the big challenges is to help students metabolize work that might be offensive to a present day perspective, but in its time was not so, if the work is worth it. You know, for example, The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton has some overt anti-Semitic tropes in it. They are offensive. They offend me. I think the book is still worth reading, and it was useful to make that case to my students. There are other books like Mickey Spillane, who writes, you know, seems to write only about women who are murderous, sort of lecherous, you know, horrible creatures. To me, his work is really invalidated by some of those perspectives. I just don't find it fun. So I wouldn't say that the pressure is just about older work that may be offensive. I think that one thing that has worried me is talking to graduate students in writing programs, for example, who say, are we really allowed to imagine any experience different from our own? Is that allowed? That is self-censorship that really scares me, because there are so many pressures. There are so many other things someone can do than read fiction.
And that's kind of a caricature of the overwokeness. That identity rules to the degree that you can't even use fiction or art to inhabit the other, which is one of the joys of art, is it not?
Very much so. And I think the danger is just that if there is that hesitation about taking the chance of writing about someone other than oneself, that is a kind of self-censorship that worries me. And I mean, Toni Morrison was such an advocate. There are quotes from her saying to her students, don't write about your dull suburban lives. You know, imagine something totally different. Give me that. I mean, that's the imaginative leap that makes fiction fun as a reader and writer. Not to say that every single time someone does something, it's good. I mean,
Sure.
In the end, readers and the marketplace will let you know whether you've succeeded, but I don't think people should be punished for trying. And I also think that they should not be discouraged from trying to think outside their lives.
I mentioned you led PEN, which fights for artists and free speech. Does it strike you that this president has proven to be so petty and offended by Jimmy Kimmel's jokes, by the South Park satire?
I mean, it's like Alec Baldwin on Saturday Night Live the first time around. You know, he is very thin-skinned, clearly. I mean, when I was president of PEN America, we sued Trump for trying to use the executive to punish people who offended him. And One example of that was trying to get the Postal Service to punish Amazon because he didn't like his coverage in the Washington Post, and Jeff Bezos owns both. All of that seems like child's play compared to where
now.
We are
Absolutely.
now. I mean, that was shocking then.
Yeah. So I have about a minute left. I love the Goon Squad, where you both explore the creation of culture in the music business and its troubles, its downfall. And then you look at time and how people struggle with their own aging and the passing of time. Can you just tell us about that? And is that why it connected with so many people?
Well, I was surprised it did connect with so many people. It is explicitly a book about time passing and aging, and music, I think, is so intertwines with time for all of us, because especially now that we can listen to music from all periods of our lives all the time, it's kind of a time machine. So I was interested in looking at time passing with music, but also looking at our change into a digital era, which has had massive impacts on music, along with a lot of other things, local journalism generally. So I was interested in time passing within a life and also within a culture, and somehow music felt like the right way to do that.
I love how you put that music can be a time machine. In the old days, through most of human history, you could have 50 albums. If you were really into it and rich, maybe you had 100 albums. Now we have literally hundreds of thousands. You can go around the world with the earphones. The book really captured that. And Jennifer, I want to thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And in the spirit of changing media, they say, oh, you do a book tour, we'll sell the new book. But we'll put on screen several of your books. Viewers, I recommend, of course, the one I really love, A Visit from the Goon Squad, a novel that you can get wherever books are sold. Check out Jennifer's work if you haven't, and we will be right back.